Schad, because it is afternoon over there, I believe. So tell me, did Teron Armstead have swag on the practice field today?
Yeah, Big O. Teron Armstead and Connor Williams were both out there practicing for the Miami Dolphins. And from the portion of practice that we were able to watch, they look good. It looks to me like they're going to be on track to resume their starting positions. Rob Hunt did not practice today. And the way the Dolphins finished the other day was Robert Jones at left guard and Lester Cotton at right guard. And certainly there's a chance that, they could go back in that direction again on Sunday.
Okay. All right. That's with the Hunt situation, the only thing with Teron, I'm kind of wondering if they do the 2-week thing that like they've been doing with other guys, where Jalen Ramsey had like 2 weeks of practice and then played. Teron Armstead, the last time he came back, they gave him 2 weeks of practice before they actually played him. Do you kind of get a feeling that might be the same thing, that Teron's coming back? The window opened, but maybe this first week might be something of a little bit too much to ask?
Remember that McDaniel said that Teron Armstead missing 4 games and needing to go on injured reserve was not a slam dunk. What that tells me is that the cautious part of this was Armstead going on injured reserve. In the same way, I think Devon Achane will return when he is eligible in the next ball game. It appears to me there's a good chance that Armstead will appear in this game now that he's eligible.
Well, Achane even made the trip.
Right.
I mean, he's not
and Brandon Jones did not. We found out.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect Brandon Jones to play if he's not even in Europe yet.
Yeah, well, Holland.
Holland is back.
Right. Holland was pretty much already clearing the concussion stuff, whereas Brandon Jones is still in the middle of it. So why put him up in the air and all that kind of stuff? So I can understand the Brandon one, and then I can understand the Holland one because he was on the back end of that thing. And so it looks like that's the good thing, that on Sunday, Joe, it looks like there's going to be a lot of Dolphins, returning to this team. Possibly Armstead, Holland, definitely coming back to this team. So you're going to have a nice injection of talent going into this game.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel was asked about the Dolphins' decision to not make a trade. Now, obviously, there was another team, I think it was the Jaguars, that acquired an interior offensive lineman for like a 6th-round draft pick. And certainly that's the kind of move that you thought maybe the Dolphins would make. But McDaniel correctly pointed out that Jalen Ramsey and all these other players coming back from injury are essentially like trading for top-notch players.
Yeah. I think they didn't make a trade because they didn't find anything that they liked. They didn't find the low-hanging fruits that they kind of like. So they were like, and I think they have enough depth at the offensive line. You're covering a team that never had 5 starters.
Well, the win-loss hurts. If Win is out for the season, I would think that they would have looked at adding a depth guard.
Yeah, but they have several guards.
Well, Cotton and Hunt and Jones, but who beyond that?
Dude, how many more can you have?
Well, but the problem is, if you would like to have 4 guards.
But you also have Lamb and Keon Smith too.
They're tackles, though.
I know
they don't play guard. Yeah.
But how many guys can you have on the roster is my point. Because
Uluave, for example, would be an emergency promotion replacement.
Right, because you have 4 spares already, 2 tackles, 2 guards. As it is with your 5 starters, that's 9 already.
I know. I'm just thinking about, Big O, how the Dolphins have used 10 offensive linemen, and that's a lot. And somehow they have the fewest hits on the quarterback in the league. Remarkable. And they're number 1 in the NFL room rushing. Let's give credit to Butch Berry. Yes, the offensive scheme of Frank Smith and Mike McDaniel. And Tua getting the ball out quickly. But these offensive linemen have made great progress. It's been a lot of fun to watch. They're a top 10 offensive line, which is amazing.
and maybe we got to stop saying that they need this, because that was the same bullshit at the beginning of the year. Hey, don't you guys? You guys are more worried about it than we are.
But now you got to
And
pay him. Who do you pay? Rob Hunt? Do you pay Austin Jackson? Do you pay Connor Williams?
now you're going to another subject.
I know. No.
You were talking about adding a lineman, and I'm trying to tell you they don't need to add a lineman because they have more than enough linemen at this point in time. So it's just crazy at this point when you have already enough as it is.
No,
And
I know, but a guy who can play center guard for a 6th or 7th rounder is not a major transaction. That would have just been a depth add.
Yeah, no, I get that. But also, do they feel he fits what they do?
Right. It has to be a scheme.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the guy who went, I
Yeah.
believe, to the Jaguars might not have been a scheme fit. I don't remember. Maybe he went from the Bears to the Jaguars, something like that.
By the way, the guy that they signed, which is Reiser, that's why they got rid of this guy. Well, Reiser also didn't fit what they do. Also, they didn't think that he was a scheme fit. Also, at times, so it kind of goes both ways. But I think what we have to do is we have to give them the benefit of the doubt from here on out. It's something that we don't want to do as fans and as media, because for like 20 years they haven't earned the right to trust them at all at the offensive line. But I think now we've kind of turned that corner finally. These people know how to find players. They know how to develop them.
But yeah,
And
Rob Hunt's a very good player. Connor
Yeah.
Williams was a very good free agent addition.
Yeah.
Teron Armstead, folks will argue that the injury thing
Yeah.
came to fruition. Austin Jackson, folks will say, well, yeah, he's doing pretty good this year, but it wasn't good before that.
He didn't have proper training before
Right.
that. He didn't
And
have.
Liam Eichenberg, unfortunately, is the one that it's not going to pan out. It's just not.
Well, hold on a second. Hasn't he played at least half decent coming off the bench? He'll be a bust for the pick, but at least he's become serviceable off the bench, right? Because he didn't. What did the tape don't lie say last week?
You know, it's funny. I actually didn't do a tape don't lie this week because of the travel to Europe. The game was on Sunday. We all traveled to Europe on Monday.
Right.
And I was so tired. I didn't sleep on the plane. And then yesterday I tried to get some sleep. And so I didn't watch the all 22, but your point about Liam Eichenberg is well taken, which is it has not been a colossal disaster. No, I'm telling you, it has not been a colossal disaster as backup center.
Right. He doesn't justify the draft pick. That we can all
He's not a
agree
left
on
tackle.
that.
He's not a left tackle.
Right.
He's not a right tackle. He's not a left guard.
He hasn't justified the draft pick in the trade for him. That I understand. But at least for now, he's done a half decent job as a backup center, dude. He hasn't been really that much of a disaster. You know, that first game, you gave him the worst assignment for his first game. You know, it's just kind of rough, but he's gotten better since then, you know, overall. But bottom line is they have figured out this offensive line stuff. They've done, I mean, since you've been covering the team, have you ever seen this?
No. Well, no. There was a time when the Dolphins had guys like Laramie Tunsil, Brandon Albert, and Juwan James and Mike Pouncey. That was pretty good group.
Right. When they were
this is my 8th year back, my 10th year covering the Dolphins in total. And obviously poor offensive line play has been a long-standing Dolphins tradition. So I was talking to Austin Jackson about how different it is, you know, and it's not cliche because it's true. These guys felt beaten down. They felt like they were in a position to have to, in the scheme, physically match up one-on-one with bigger, faster, stronger people. Now, from Mike McDaniel to Frank Smith to Butch Barry, these guys are building their confidence. And that's a huge part of anything, man. It's just like Tua doesn't feel beaten down. The offensive linemen, they look in the mirror now and they say they're not saying to themselves, we suck. And when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you look on Twitter and all you see is people saying you suck, that wears on you. And I don't like the word narrative because it has a negative connotation, but in a good way, the narrative for Dolphins offensive line play has changed.
Yeah, no, and we all have to give the benefit of the doubt to the coaches and the front office that they have done the combination of being able to find guys and then also develop them, and that has been something that we have not seen here in forever, Joe. They have never really known how to develop linemen. Actually, it's just, oh, you got Pouncey, yeah, he's a player. Oh, you got Brandon Albert, yeah, he was already a player. It's these were things that you didn't have to teach, but Kendall Lamb had never played like this in his entire career, and neither had Isaiah Wynn. Bedard. Greg Bedard, and he was kind of like making fun of the whole Isaiah Wynn thing at the beginning of the season. Why? And he had all the reason to kind of make fun of it.
Well, the injury prone was true. Unfortunately, he got hurt.
No, and also
guys who get hurt, so that's unfortunate.
No, but it was more about Dante Scarnecchia not reaching him. So if Dante Scarnecchia can't make Isaiah Wynn a good player, then nobody can. And I can understand that attitude from Bedard or anybody that covers the Patriots, because Dante Scarnecchia was known as maybe the best offensive line coach in the NFL, because constantly they didn't matter who New England would bring in, that guy would make you a better lineman, overall.
When so I was thinking about it. Mike McDaniel is the general.
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about the Army and military services. So if Mike McDaniel is the general, Frank Smith is the what, lieutenant? Sergeant?
Yeah,
lieutenant. What's higher, lieutenant?
Probably the commander of your army.
So does it go? So who would be higher, sergeant or lieutenant? Sergeant,
no,
right? Lieutenant. So Butch Berry is the sergeant. He's carrying out the plan as given to him by this lieutenant and the commander. And he is executing that plan perfectly and he's the perfect guy for it, because he's emotional, fiery, enthusiastic, demanding, passionate. And McDaniel and Smith are more cerebral and thoughtful. And so this is a good staff. Flores had a hard time putting staff members together because some folks didn't want to work for him.
So did Philbin. So did Philbin. Philbin and Flo are the exact same coach. They have like different attitudes or whatever, but they were the exact same thing. They both had no power whatsoever to build a staff. And that's where McDaniel crossed a threshold that, by the way, Fangio couldn't cross in Denver. Fangio couldn't build a staff either in Denver, and that was part of his failures, that he couldn't get anybody on the offensive side to really put it together. And McDaniel's magic, being able to bring Fangio in, was huge, because
and no excuses now. The Dolphins' defense has underperformed.
Well, no, but I
through 8 games. No. But this is the time with X and Ramsey and Phillips and Schad and Wilkins, Zero and Holland. No excuses. From this point to the end of the season, and you can bring this tape back, I want to see the Dolphins in the top 8 in the NFL in scoring defense and total defense, sacks and turnovers. And if they are not, I say that I'm going to say that's a disappointment.
Well, I after rewatching the Eagles tape, and I didn't want to use Carolina and the Giants as a measuring stick of anything, but I will use it a little bit for the defense. Like Chubb, you watch Chubb over the last few weeks. He has played his best football since he's been a Miami Dolphin. You watch David Long. He is playing better football now. You're going to get X back. You've got Jalen Ramsey in the mix. Phillips now should start getting in a real groove. I think this defense is now on the rise, because after rewatching the Eagles tape, I didn't realize how many bad calls were missed in that one, which really
was
hurt.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know what I like? Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is he is an alpha male. He has championship swagger, and guys like him and Tyreek Hill, man, they don't grow on trees, and it's hard to believe that they're on the same team and that it's the Miami Dolphins.
Well,
If the Dolphins win, if the Dolphins win a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
if the Dolphins win a Super Bowl, it's going to be because guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey wanted to come to Miami. Wanted to come to Miami.
Armstead's the kind of leader too that
Yeah.
that people gravitate to.
Well,
That's another
listen,
thing
we
that-
love Teron Armstead, but if there's a Super Bowl, I hope he's available to play.
Well, I mean,
And-
he made himself available with like
He did.
87 entries in the playoffs last year. So let's give him a little
did.
love there, respect
He
in
did.
that sense.
No, he does.
but
Yeah, I'm just
also-
saying that I fear that.
No, I get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But give Chris Greer and Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie a lot of credit that not only did they add players to this team, but they added players that brought leadership qualities. I think Raheem Mostert is a leader, actually, on this team. Believe it or not, I think he is highly respected.
That's
on
interesting.
this-
Underrated leader. Yeah, underrated leaders.
Yes,
I want to try to that's a good one. I want to try to
I
think
there
about it.
Role of those. Javon Holland is a fucking leader and a half, bro. Okay, I mean they've got guys in leadership qualities all
Well,
over.
I'm going to tell you that Jalen Ramsey, despite not playing,
I agree. I know what you're saying.
was a strong leader,
Presence,
even
bro.
when not playing. So imagine now that he's playing.
Presence. It's what Armstead has. They've accomplished shit. They've won it. They have the highest respect because people like Ramsey and people like Armstead have played at the highest level and have won everything. And they know that those kind of guys are elite in the way they carry themselves, the way they play. So that's why I'm saying that, the front office did a marvelous job of when they added veterans. They added veterans of quality, bro.
Big O, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Say
I don't
what
mean
you
to
want
interrupt.
about Williams. What you want about Connor Williams wanting money and all that stuff. The dude's a leader and a player, and he sets a great example for the offensive line.
Big O, here in Frankfurt, Germany, the Dolphins have ended practice a little early. And so I need to go and get Tua Tagovailoa, who's going to be available shortly.
Go ahead.
And it's a little chilly here, but me and Marcel and David and Daniel are going to have a good time, make the best of it.
All right,
and I think that
win or lose.
I think that the Dolphins are going to win on a last-second field goal.
Whoa, Jason Sanders. I like it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's good. I like it. I like ending it that way. All right, Joe.
Thanks for having me from Germany.
Appreciate you taking time from Germany, my friend. Be safe in your
Hey, bud.
travels. Enjoy it. Take it easy. You got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad. And when we talk about Sean Williams, oh man, Brooke and all the amazing people at Essential Moving Experts, tell them that Big O sent you. 386-213-4054. One of the things you're going to love, no surprise charges, flat rates. There's a lot of, like Marcel Louis Jacques just hired them when he wanted to move from Dade to Broward County. And, he found out when he was calling around, they all give you ballpark figures. Yeah, we'll do it between 2,000 and 2,700. Well, what is it? 2,000, 2,200, 25, 20. Yeah, we'll do it for 700 to 1,700. Huh? No. They give you one flat rate, and that's exactly what they do it for. They'll move you from city to city, county to county, state to state, across the nation. It doesn't matter. Essential Moving Experts, over 1,700 happy customers have filed in. They said they love the experience with Essential Moving Experts. Sean Williams, by the way, huge Dolphins fan, as you can see. The colors of the business are Dolphin colors, okay? His company is stationed in Daytona. Okay, that's where their headquarters is at. He drives down for the games all the time. So, man, use the folks to support our amazing platform, Essential Moving Experts, 386-213-4054.
This is the